Okay. Sorry, anticlimactic on that. Okay, I'd like to call to order the May 27th, 2025 District 7 Board of Education meeting. Carrie, would you please call the roll?
Bertles. Here. Sanderson.
Here.
Bryan.
Here.
Carver.
Here.
Bauer.
Here.
Ahart. Johnson.
Here.
Proctor. Here.
Patty.
Patey.
Here. Okay. I'd like to welcome everybody. At this time, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I have nightmares now that I'm going to forget how that starts. Okay. Next thing. I'll entertain a motion to approve the May 27th, 2025 agenda as it has been presented this evening.
So moved.
Second.
Carrie, please call the roll.
Carver.
Yes.
Sanderson.
Yes.
Bryan.
Yes.
Bertles.
Yes.
Bauer.
Yes.
Patey.
Yes. Okay. Sorry. We've got a new system. We're still getting used to it, so I apologize. Okay. Next. We'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the board's executive closed session meeting held on April 28th.
So moved. Second.
Carrie, please call the roll.
Sanderson.
Yes.
Bertles.
Yes.
Bryan.
Yes.
Carver.
Yes.
Bauer.
Yes.
Patey.
Yes. I'll entertain a motion to approve, excuse me, I got pop-ups coming up here. I entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the board executive closed session meeting held on May 12th, 2025.
So moved. Second.
Carrie, please call the roll.
Bertles.
Yes.
Carver.
Yes.
Sanderson.
Yes.
Bryan.
Yes.
Bauer.
Yes.
Patey.
Yes. Okay. At this time, Dr. Shelton, would you provide the superintendent's report?
Absolutely, and you took the words right out of my mouth that we have this new system, and we're still trying to keep up. So please forgive us. We're also having some technical issues tonight that have caused a couple delays. So good evening, thank you to everybody for attending. Want to start out today offering a heartfelt thank you to the Edwardsville, Glen Carbon, and Wood River Fire Departments, all that responded to Edwardsville High School today. We had more firemen and engines than we knew what to do with, which is great, and we appreciate their response. And thankfully, it was just a little motor that went out that caused a little smoke on the third floor. But certainly was a moment that we saw the response from our first responders. We appreciate it. At the May work session, the board had an in-depth discussion about the potential purchase of a warehouse in 157. Unfortunately, the seller has accepted another offer, and we will not be purchasing that property as we discussed. So at this point, we are continuing to look at other solutions, and hopefully we'll have something soon. Tonight, the board will be asked to approve the hazardous routes that exist within District 7. District 7 currently has 75 approved hazardous routes, some of which include multiple hazardous locations on the path to a single school. Hazardous routes refer to walking paths less than 1.5 miles from a student's home to the assigned school that presents a significant safety risk. Routes are determined by guidance from the Illinois Department of Transportation and puts those hazards in 4 different categories: walking along a roadway, walking on a roadway, crossing a roadway, and crossing railroad tracks. The routes are then assigned points which take into consideration the grade level of the student, location of the walkway, posted traffic speed, volume and number of traffic lanes, and the length of the hazardous segment. Whenever a hazardous route is approved, school districts are eligible for reimbursement for providing transportation for the student. The example I always like to use is Ebbets Field to Goshen and Liberty. That's super close proximity, but you can't cross Goshen Road, and so therefore that everything on the south side of Goshen Road is a hazardous route. So we have 75 of those that we'll be asking the board to approve again this evening. No new hazardous routes for this year. We're currently accepting applications for 3 committees which are available for community involvement: Parent-Teacher Advisory, the Equity Advisory Committee, and the Strategic Plan Steering Committee. The link to each of those is on our website and will be open through the end of the week. and individuals selected for the committee will be notified by July 1st. Registration for the 25-26 school year continues to be open, and as of today, we had over 2,600 students registered, which is trending ahead of last year's registration numbers. As a reminder, priority registration has to be completed before July 18th in order to guarantee a course schedule and bus assignment for the first day of school. That's just the guarantee. We oftentimes can meet beyond that, but we want to make sure that we get people registered if possible. Graduation will be taking place this Sunday, June 1st at 1 p.m. at the Vidal Center on the campus of SIUE. Graduation was moved to SIUE this year as the high school campus is closed as they complete the renovation of the Commons. We appreciate the partnership we have with SIUE, and they've been very accommodating with allowing us the use of their facility. Following this year's graduation, we'll be assessing the cost of holding graduation at SIUE as compared to our own campus prior to determining a location for 2026. Summer Zone begins on Monday, June the 2nd. Extended school year and summer learning safari begin on Friday, June 6th, and summer school for Edwardsville High School begins on Monday, June 9th. Some of you may be wondering, why would we begin summer school on a Friday? Well, extended school year requires 15 school days of learning, and because of the holiday on June 19th, Juneteenth, we had to pick another day. So that left us with Friday, June 6th, or Monday, June 30th, and nobody wanted to come back for the week of the 4th of July. So since offices are closed, as well as the week of June 30th to July 4th, the logical choice was to begin on Friday, June 6th. Beginning the week of June 16th, all offices which are normally open in the summer will be open Monday through Thursday from 8 to 4:30, and on Friday from 8 a.m. to noon, and then we will resume regular hours later in the summer.
Okay,
That's all I have for this afternoon.
thank you. Any questions? Okay. At this time, Claire Johnson will provide the junior student representative report.
Good evening. I'm excited to begin my role as the junior representative for the Board of Education. Dr. Shelton and I have decided to take a different approach on how I present the schools this year because there's so many between the middle and elementary schools that we thought it'd be better to just highlight 1 or 2 schools per meeting so that we can go more into depth about the school's accomplishments and what their kids are doing. Today, I'll be highlighting the school that I went to when I was in 3rd through 5th grade. I went to Cassins Elementary. I'd like to start out by shouting out Miss Leach and Miss Bell for earning the Educators of the Year award, and as well as Miss Beavis O'Neill for achieving the Administrator of the Year. Your hard work and dedication does not go unnoticed. Cassins is a 3rd to 5th grade school and is one of the most populated intermediate schools in our district. The Cougars have had the opportunity to get involved at school and discover what they're passionate about from a young age with all the clubs that they're involved in. A few of these are Cougar Council, Cougars on the Run, Boredom Busters, and Garden Club. The Cassins 5th grade celebration happened last Friday, and they were able to go outside and play 9 square, gaga ball, and a variety of other games, and finished up their long day with ice cream. The Cassins lip sync battle, I love the lip sync battle, was hosted, and there was a top 3. Congratulations, and it's a great way for kids to express their creativity. Cassins had their field day today, and Cougars participated in relay races, bounce house, obstacle courses, water activities, and were able to eat popsicles as a great way to kick off summer break. Be sure to keep an eye out on Monday, June 9th, as the Cougars perform God Bless America at the Cardinal game that night.
Thank you. And Josie Proctor will now provide the senior student representative report.
Thank you. I'm so excited to finally be reporting on EHS. I would like to congratulate all of the class of 2025 graduates and wish them luck in their futures. Graduation, like Dr. Sheldon said, is coming up on June 1st at SIUE. I would first like to give a little shout out to Mr. Fox for his hard work and dedication this year. It has really been an honor to work with him, and EHS has been the best that it has been, and it's because of his amazing passion for our high school. Congratulations to the EHS Drama Club for receiving 2 nominations from the St. Louis High School Musical Theater Awards for their spring production of Chicago. They were nominated for Outstanding Choreography and Outstanding Orchestra. Ms. Thron and her journalism students recently participated in the IHSA journalism competition and placed 3rd, meaning they now have 6 state-level trophies. On May 21st, EHS welcomed class of 2029 incoming freshmen. Their visit included guided tours by current students, team building activities on the outdoor track, and had the opportunity to ask questions to a student panel. When they walked over to the Sportsplex, they enjoyed a DJ and snow cones. Welcome class of 2029, and we are so excited to have you. I had the opportunity to be on the student panel at this event and answer some amazing questions. Class of 2025 seniors had their annual Tour de Grove, which they rode scooters on the trails all the way from SIUE to EHS, and had one last get-together before graduation. Congratulations to Lincoln Aldworth, a senior at EHS, for being this year's recipient of the Jason Stewart Memorial MOB Scholarship, MOB meaning Make Others Better. EHS Interacts Club donated $1,000 to buy bedding for rescue homes that house the at-risk students of African Vision of Hope schools in Zambia. EHS prom was a fantastic success. All juniors and seniors were able to enjoy a fun-filled night with food and dancing. This well-organized event would not be possible without prom committee, so thank you for making the EHS experience better. This event also included giveaways, even some as large as an iPad. I was lucky enough to win one of the amazing prizes, which was a $100 Apple gift card. Student Council recently elected their officers for this upcoming term. Mia Marshall, Nolan Fornash, Sally Chapman, Sophie McGillis, Caroline Wigton, Vice President Cooper Wittick, and I'm honored to take on the position as president. And now on to sports. Congratulations to the Edwardsville Tigers baseball team for their 24-9 season. Good luck at state. Congratulations to Joyce Story and Sophia Shapiro for their performances at IHS State Track Championship. Joy took 3rd for discus and 5th for shot put. Sophia got 4th in both 100-meter hurdles and 300-meter hurdles. Congratulations to our Tiger Tennis Sectional Champions. Jesse Hatrup getting 1st and Brandon Wall getting 4th in singles. Schaefer Bates and Isaac Schlobon getting 1st, and John Almos and Lucas Rudd getting 4th in doubles. Good luck at state. Girls soccer became 8-time regional champs with their win against Belleville West. Good luck tonight, girls. Girls softball took the Southwestern Conference Championship, and boys track became champions at the sectional championship. Edwardsville Tigers boys ultimate frisbee team became the Illinois Ultimate State Champions. Congratulations to these athletes for their determination and hard work. And congratulations to all the students of EHS for finishing finals strong, and it's time to relax and have a good summer. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, thank you. Do any board members have reports?
I have the IASB report.
Okay.
The governing meetings will be held the first 2 weeks of June, and during that meeting, the division officers for the next 2 years will be elected. Division planning will take place, as well as discussion about division engagement. And if you're interested in that, there's a link in the email that I forwarded to you. And then the call for resolutions is open through June 25th. This is a district's chance to submit a resolution for the membership to consider for the delegate assembly. And same thing, there's a link in the email that I forwarded to you.
Okay, thank you. Is anybody else? Okay. We are in a section of the meeting where we recognize special guests, students who have excelled and provide the opportunity for visitors to address the board. Following this section, we'll take a short recess to allow individuals who wish to leave to do so prior to the remainder of the meeting. At this time, I'd like to introduce Dr. Debbie Reed, Principal of Nelson Elementary, and Michael Corey, Principal of Lincoln Middle School, who recognize their Students of the Month. I guess Students of the Month for April, to be specific.
Good evening. This is my friend Yadiel. Yadiel has worked very hard this year. In the beginning of the year, Yadiel only spoke when asked a question due to his language barrier. Now he initiates conversations. He is loved by all of his peers and his teacher. Yadiel has a smile on his face at all the times, which is probably there right now. Yeah. Anyone who works with him reports what a hard worker he is. The level of knowledge he has acquired this year is truly amazing. He did not know any numbers, and now Yadiel can count to 20. He can add, and he knows the place values of numbers. In reading, Yadiel did not know any letters or sounds, and now he is reading 3-letter words and entire stories with support. Yadiel says he is the proudest of all his hard work he has done this year. We are amazed at his work ethic, character, and kindness. Congratulations, Yadiel.
That was a good 5. Hi, good evening. Dr. Shelton, Board of Education. Thanks for having me here tonight. I'm going to welcome Samantha Castillo up here. Samantha is a wonderful 8th grade student at Lincoln Middle School, and she was chosen as our Student of the Month for the month of April. In a lot of ways, kind of on the other end of where our young gentleman at Nelson was at. So one of the reasons that Samantha was chosen is she has been a huge, incredible advocate and leader for many of our MEL students that we've had both over the course of the time that she's been at Lincoln, and then also who arrived to us this year. So just so you know, we had 3 students come to us this year at Lincoln Middle School who could not speak a word of English when they arrived at the building. And Samantha has been an amazing advocate for our students of different heritages and speaking different languages, making them feel comfortable, taking them under her wing, showing them around the school, giving them tours, and just making them feel much more comfortable in a setting that's not necessarily as comfortable for them right away. So, but I wanted to make sure that I got some information straight from the source, so I reached out to Mrs. Conklin. Mrs. Jolene Conklin is our MEL supervisor in the building. She had this to say about Samantha. Samantha has been a rising star at Lincoln for the past 3 years. She came from Mexico in 6th grade and immediately started to excel in English while continuing to develop her Spanish. She often shares her culture and unique, diverse experiences with others. She's a student to lean on when we have new Spanish speakers arriving to our building by giving them tours, answering questions, and being a friendly face for many of our nervous MEL students. She takes on the role with grace and confidence. We often say that being bilingual is a superpower, and I would say Samantha is our superhero. We are beyond proud of her. I know me personally, today is kind of a bittersweet day because it's my last full day that I get with an amazing student like Samantha. We're very sorry to lose you at Lincoln, but I know EHS is getting a wonderful student, so I practice this. Gracias por todo y buena suerte el próximo año. Samantha Castillo.
Wait, let them take.
Okay, Dr. Shelton, I think you have somebody that you want to recognize as well, right?
I do. I would like to introduce Veda Komanini. And Veda, if you could come up and take their microphone, and Veda's going to take care of our other special recognition this evening.
Good evening. My name is Veda Komnini, and I just wrapped up my senior year at Edwardsville High School. I'd like to thank the board for inviting me here, and I'd like to thank all of you for listening. As some of you may know, I was recently selected as a 2025 Coca-Cola Scholar. In 1986, to celebrate Coca-Cola's 100th anniversary, the Coca-Cola Scholars Foundation was established. The mission of the foundation is to enhance educational opportunities through scholarship awards. The Coke Scholars Program awards $3 million annually to high school seniors. 150 students out of the 105,000 applicants are designated as Coca-Cola Scholars, making the acceptance rate of the program 0.1%. Each Coca-Cola Scholar is awarded $20,000. As a Coca-Cola Scholar, I have the opportunity to select an Educator of Distinction. The purpose of the Coca-Cola Scholars Foundation Educator of Distinction Award is simple: to celebrate an educator elected by a Coca-Cola Scholar who, in their opinion, has greatly impacted their vision of education. The nominee may be any educator: a superintendent, principal, teacher, coach, band instructor, or counselor. It is my greatest honor to select Mr. Kirkschleder as the Coca-Cola Educator of Distinction. Since freshman year, I've known Mr. Schlieder in various capacities. as my tennis coach, literature teacher, ethics bowl coach, poetry out loud advisor, and most importantly, my mentor. Through each of these endeavors, I've had the privilege of witnessing his invaluable talent for teaching, both in and out of the classroom. As a two-time student of his, both freshman and junior year, I was able to inquire about his choice to become a teacher. If you didn't know, Mr. Schlueter is a wildly talented writer who has been awarded several accolades for his poetry. Recently, he was even published in the Los Angeles Review. Seeing his success in that area, I often wondered why he didn't pursue writing full-time. And the answer is painstakingly clear. He was born to teach. As a high school teacher, he works with students trying to grasp at an understanding of who they are. Students who plan to use these 4 years to discover themselves. Never once has Mr. Schlueter hesitated to offer up his own professional or personal experience as a guidepost for many of us. He connects with students at a fundamental level, making him a standout favorite in EHS halls. While I could go on about his impact on my career and his willingness to push me toward opportunity, I'd like to share a story about my junior year AP Lang class. Some kids took that class because they heard it was easy. Some took it because they wanted another AP credit to tack onto their transcript. I took it because Mr. Schlueter taught it, but the boy next to me took it because he hated writing. It seems contradictory to sit in an English class and express that you hate writing, but this is the type of teacher Mr. Schlueter is. He will never urge you to back down, and he will work with you tirelessly to help you find a way to express yourself. He encouraged the student relentlessly to take his class because it would be better for him in the long run, despite it being a little outside of the student's comfort zone. After working with this student the entire year, Mr. Schlueter pushed him to put forth his best effort, and ultimately, after a lot of struggle from both ends, this student ended up with an A. Now, I have AP Lit with this student, and he attributes much of his decision to take another difficult literature class to Mr. Schlueter, who reassured him that he was always capable. Good teachers are hard to find, but great teachers exist in the English wing at EHS. On behalf of many students sitting in this room, I am proud to thank Mr. Schlueter and award him the Coca-Cola Educator of Distinction Award.
I also want to add that Kurt is also probably one of the few teachers that's had all 3 of my children. So they all loved it. So thank you. Appreciate that.
We were also able to keep this as a surprise, so he had no idea why he was asked to come to the board meeting, other than Dr. Shelton asked him to come. So he goes, now I understand why.
Okay. At this point, we're going to take a 5-minute recess. If people don't want to hang out for the rest of what we do, that'd be great, and then we can get on with the rest of the meeting. No, I just removed. Start back. Okay. Give me a second here. I gotta get to the right spot here. Okay. At this time, the board has set aside time for anyone wishing to address the board. If anybody would like to say anything. You got somebody? Hold on, let me, before you start, let me go through the spiel here. So I'd like to remind the public that this portion of the meeting is for a maximum of 60-minute time reserved for comments from the public. In accordance with policy 2230, public participation at Board of Education meetings and petitions to the public as follows. This will be the only opportunity to address the board during the regular meeting. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes or less. A screen timer will be provided. Individuals may not defer their time to another speaker. If your comments are about matters involving students or district personnel, please refrain from disclosing names. Please understand that the board will not respond to questions made during the public comments, but may direct the superintendent to address these questions in a, to address these questions in a district communication or at the subsequent board meeting. Please remember that the board generally needs to gather additional information about any questions or concerns prior to responding or taking action. At the conclusion of the meeting, if you have additional questions for the board, please see the board secretary. Okay. Megan.
My name is Maggie Dust. I am an instructional coach at Lincoln Middle School and a parent of 3 young District 7 children. Last month, we received a response regarding the recent staffing changes and the replacement of those released during our last few meetings. I feel compelled to express my concerns about the support our educators and students will receive with the reduction of our instructional coaching positions and guidance counselors at the middle school and elementary levels. With fewer instructional coaches, we must consider who will support our elementary and middle school educators moving forward. I understand that our teachers are dedicated to supporting their diverse learners and are continually striving to implement new resources and strategies in their classrooms. However, with the ever-growing list of additional responsibilities and changes to the instructional day, it can become overwhelming. Instructional coaches play a crucial role in guiding teachers through these challenges, facilitating professional development and helping them effectively integrate new instructional strategies. Without adequate support, we risk putting our teachers in a position where they may struggle to meet the students where they are on their journey towards mastery of grade level standards. It is vital that we have something to ensure our educators continue to thrive. Additionally, I would like to inquire if there is evidence from the high school level that demonstrates the need for more instructional coaches. If there is evidence to conclude this, understanding how increased coaching resources have impacted teacher performance and student outcomes at the high school level, it would only make sense to keep that support at the elementary and middle school levels to ensure this structure of success continues as the students grow. Lastly, I want to address the mental health needs of our staff and students. With one less guidance counselor at each middle school, we are not prioritizing student support during this challenging time of transition. Previously, the intention was for counselors to follow students through their years at Lincoln and Liberty, allowing them to build meaningful relationships with students as individuals. Educators and students alike may face increased stress as they adapt to new dynamics and curriculum changes. The middle students are thriving with this current structure. I urge the board to consider the impact of this reduction in support of mental health resources that are crucial for our school communities. I understand that no group of students is more important than another. With board approval of these changes, I must ask that you truly and fully grasp the importance of the equity and balance in the support we provide to our students. In closing, while I appreciate the efforts to fill the positions and your intentions to limit reductions, I urge the board to carefully consider how we can best support our educators and students. A strong foundation of support is essential for fostering a positive and effective learning environment.
Anybody else?
My name is Katie Robertson, and I hadn't intended to speak this evening, but I had sent an email about a month ago, I think, regarding exactly what Ms. Dust just spoke about. So I just wanted to reiterate since I haven't received a response. One of the best additions to middle school in the post-pandemic years was the introduction of grade level counselors. Along with school psychologists and social workers, these counselors were assigned by grade so that students entering 6th grade would have the same counselor for their entire middle school tenure. The addition of these counselors allowed for better support of students as a part of MTSS, etc. In April of this year, I did attend my youngest child's 504 meeting where we discussed her transition to the middle school level. And at that time, no one on the team knew that there would not be a grade level counselor. I felt bad for the staff, and I feel bad for students that are going less supported than they have been in the past few years. I had known since the end of March that a change was happening, and so I had mentioned it in the meeting and then regretted it because I felt bad having put the staff in that position. The lack of communication with staff and the planning is not supporting students or staff. Here are a few of the issues I see with this change. Current middle school students who have built rapport and have been supported by their current counselor may potentially be reassigned. The middle school years are some of the most crucial when it comes to a student's mental well-being. Why would we be removing supports? Staff have also felt supported by this model. Why weren't they informed of this change? Counselors' caseloads will now be much larger in size, so the support that had been provided in the past won't be possible. Not notifying elementary staff of changes at the middle school level increases confusion at this critical transition. We know historically District 7 loses students most often at the 5th to 6th grade and 8th to 9th grade transition. I think overall, change is obviously necessary and sometimes it's painful, but when it's not informed, when people are uninformed or it's poorly communicated, it hurts students and staff. I'm really asking that the board ask questions and seek understanding when adopting new recommendations. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody else have anything? Okay. Before we move on to the next agenda item, the board would like to thank you all for taking the time to comment. While you're unable to address your comments here, please know that the board and superintendent will discuss what has been brought up this evening. Okay, moving on. Would any board member like to remove any consent agenda item for separate action? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to approve consent agenda items as recommended this evening. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Okay, Carrie, would you please call the roll?
I did not hear the motion, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you seconded it, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought someone.
Oh, you said it, Lynn? No.
You seconded, didn't you?
I did.
No. Who said the motion?
You read it straight up. I did. I read it.
You read it that way? Thank you. I apologize. Okay.
Actually, no, I'm sorry. I said I entertained the motion. See, this is the problem I have. Yes, I move.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Roll call is Patey,
Yes.
Bauer,
Yes.
Bertles,
Yes.
Sanderson,
Yes.
Bryhan,
Yes.
Carver.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I keep getting things popping up here.
Mhm.
Weird glitchy tonight.
Sorry, I know this is taking a while. Okay. Okay. Now it's the presentation. Right? Okay. At this time, Dave Courtney, CFO and COO, will provide the board a presentation on Goal 5 of the strategic plan.
Thank you for allowing me to give an update on Goal 5. The most exciting goal of all the goals, probably, financial
Second.
efficiency.
Second.
I don't know why it's not goal number 1, but
That's fair.
so I'll remind everyone that on Goal 5, goal statement is that we will achieve a strong financial standing that provides a value to taxpayers while optimizing programs, services, facilities, at maximum efficiency. Within those goal are the action steps, which we have identified 5: maintain the district's current financial standing with the Illinois State Board of Education. 2 is to analyze expenditures to determine operational efficiency. 3 is to analyze all available data to determine if building student enrollments are appropriate. 4, analyze all available data to determine efficient use of buildings, including programming placements. And 5, analyze current district-wide technology platforms to maximize efficiency among students and staff. So in conjunction with those action steps, number 1, on the financial status, we had financial recognition in 2023 and 2024 for the end of the year on June 30, 2024, which would be 2025 review. We're in financial review right now, mainly due to last year budget being a little over budget at the end of the year. So we are trying to maintain those statuses as we move forward. Number 2, with expenditures, we are in the process right now of analyzing all expenditures. It's kind of an ongoing process that we take on every year, and we're looking towards that as we move into the budget development for the 25-26 school year. On action step number 3, in 2023, we conducted an analysis, and we moved some of our special programs to different buildings, Liberty, LeClaire, and Woodland. And we've also been analyzing our data and our student enrollments to determine whether our boundaries are still in line with where they need to be, and if there's any potential adjustments that need to be made as we look towards probably fiscal year 2027. With the efficient use of buildings, we also can refer back to the placement of programs, changes that we made in 23. We've also expanded the pre-K and preschool academy into Hamel and Glen Carbon schools in the last couple of years. So that's also been part of that expansion for pre-K. And then on the technology side, we analyzed our platforms in 24. We've now implemented developed plans for replacement of our Wi-Fi and improvement. We have implemented the replacement cycle for all technology devices, which is ongoing now, and we are in the process of developing a fiber network infrastructure construction. It's being paid for through E-rate program through the feds and through the state. So that is ongoing right now, is expected to be completed at the end of next year, June of 2026. One of the action steps this year was to review our revenue sources, programming, possible opportunities, our fee structures within the district, and presenting some of those potential recommendations tonight. So when it comes to the revenue side, there are some programs that we did change fees for this year. Most of these programs are self-supporting programs or self-sustaining when it comes to the preschool academy. Our Kids Zone programming and summer programming, and that also includes our summer school programming. So we did do some fee adjustments to maintain the self-sustaining portion of those programs as we go into this summer and into next school year. We also have implemented marketing partnerships with BUC and First Community, and to date, that's collected about $152,000 that is set aside right now in a deferred revenue account for future use, mainly probably for support of athletic programs as we move forward. We're still pending a final contract with our other partnership with Raising Cane's. From a fee structure perspective, the current fee structure that you see are instructional material fees as listed. We have fees that we are paying for Council Area Vocational Center, Lewis and Clark Community College, and SIU from dual credit. So the Council Area Vocational Program is about $150,000 in a district budget that is used for CTE programming. At Lewis and Clark, it's about $180,000 this year for cohort, $100,000 for a program such as welding, and then $30,000 in dual credit. And then at SIU, it's about $8,000 in dual credit. So we analyze those fees and the cost of those programs. In addition, we have our athletic extracurricular fees, as you see listed. And then one of the areas we also looked at is the district's rental fees and what that might look like. So for next year, the decision was made to push all of the fees for the student tuition cohort fee to the students. The district was paying about $180,000 of that. We will continue the support of the Collinsville Area Vocational Center and the SIU partnership. And one of the things that we are going to recommend for potential change in 27 is recommending a change to the instructional material fee, doing away with that, and implementing an instructional technology fee to more reflect the cost of devices. There's a 4 or 5 year replacement cycle. Cost right now is about $800 a device. We also looked at rental fees. These are, just as examples, our current rental fees for a lot of our buildings. The last couple years we have, obviously during COVID, we went through a period where we did not have rentals. We continued that for a year. We're kind of getting back into where our buildings are being more utilized more by community. In the scheme of the budget, it's about $100,000 a year, give or take. So one of the things we've looked at is looked at the fees from various school districts and have looked at potentially proposing fees. And what you'll see is a column referencing category 1 and category 2. What we've recognized is that for these kind of fees, rental fees, there's usually a fee for a nonprofit or a governmental unit, and then there's a fee for like a for-profit organization. So look at differentiating those fees for possible implementation next fiscal year, next school year. I guess from a final takeaway from when we looked at, obviously I think it's been a while since we've looked at the fee structures, especially when it comes to rental fees and our exterior use of our buildings. And think that it's more crucial that we probably continue that on a year-to-year basis to evaluate those and make sure they're in line with what the surrounding areas are currently charging. So with that, I will take any questions if you have any.
On the fees, I think I heard you say 100,000 roughly, give or
Yeah,
take or whatever.
we've collected about 82 or 83,000 to date so far.
Okay,
Yes.
so then if those fees go up a little bit, you're saying it might be a little
Right.
over 100,000 then?
Yes.
For that? Okay.
Yeah, and we've, especially this year, we held off on renting space at the high school that possibly would have been used because of construction and work that was being done in the commons and auditorium and things like that. So we kind of held some of those things off this year. So I think that number would be higher next year. But yes.
Any other questions?
I guess something that I've thought about asking for to be reviewed, and I guess it would be into this category, the supplies that parents are asked to give each year for the classrooms, and if there's anything that the district could provide, I'll say highlighters or something when every teacher needs 3 highlighters or something that we could buy in bulk that would relieve some of the expenses that a parent would have to use at the beginning of a school year to offset some of those other expenses if we're going to raise the technology fee.
Sure. We have talked about that. We've had conversations about that. I think it's a conversation we need to have again. We tried that a few years ago with some supplies in bulk, and I don't know if it, I'll say, didn't work out the way we thought it would, but I think it's something that we have looked at or have talked about and can look at again.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. Any other questions? Okay. Thanks, Dave.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it. Since you're the next item up for bid, I'll wait till you get over in your seat. Okay. Approval of action item 8.1, Dave Courtney.
Well, during my presentation, it has decided to kick me out of the system. So it's recommended that the Board of Education adopt a resolution to extend the term of Edwardsville Community Unit School District Number 7's participation and membership in the Mississippi Valley Employee Benefits Intergovernmental Cooperative through June 30, 2028.
Okay. Anybody have any questions about what that actually is? Do you mind just explaining a little bit of what
Sure, yeah.
that?
So the district is part of the Misfit Cooperative for both health insurance and property casualty. So every year we renew the term, the school districts renew the term for an additional 3 years to continue that rolling forward. So we've been in Misfit since I've been here, so.
Okay, cool. Do I need to do a motion? Okay.
Motions are going to make, yeah, you have to move.
Okay. Sorry,
This isn't
I have
a
technical
roll call.
issue.
No, he'll make a motion. Just
Okay.
Great.
Okay, we'll try this.
Okay.
Okay. All those in favor of action item 8.1 as read by Dave Courtney, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay. 8.2, approval of action item 8.2, Dave Courtney.
Thank you, Mr. Beatty. It's recommended the Board of Education adopt a resolution to extend the term of Edwardsville Community Unit School District Number 7's participation and membership in the Mississippi Valley Property Casualty Intergovernmental Cooperative through June 30, 2028.
Does anybody have any questions? Okay. Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. Okay, action item carries. 8.3, action item 8.3, Dave Courtney.
Thank you. It's recommended the Board of Education adopt a resolution to affirm the appointment of voting members for Edwardsville Community Unit School District 7 in the Mississippi Valley Employee Benefits and Property Casualty Intergovernmental Cooperatives.
Any questions, discussions? Okay. Motion for action item 8.3, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. 8.4, approval of action item 8.4, Dr. Shelton.
Thank you. It's recommended the Board of Education approve the first reading of policy updates as presented, and there will be some discussion on this. Sure.
Okay. Do you want to go through the list?
Sure. So we have the first of a round of policy updates that we'll be bringing to the board. Typically, what we'll be doing is presenting them in a work session, followed by a first reading at a regular meeting, and then followed by the second reading at the next regular meeting. However, we're entering a weird time of year where we don't have enough work sessions to get everything done that we want to get done. So we're going to be flying by the seat of our pants on policy for just a few months until we get back into kind of a regular cycle. So we'll be doing 3 of them. This is the first reading, but it's also the first time the board's had a chance to discuss these policies. We tried to pick 3 fairly easy ones because there are some more complicated ones that we'll be going through at board retreat, and that will be an opportunity for the board to kind of dive in before we go to the first reading. So the first policy update is policy 415 on identity protection. And this is a simple addition of language and deletion of language related to cybersecurity, really more logistics, and you have the information around personally identifiable information and protected personally identifiable information so that we are legally bound to make sure that we have this in policy. Any comments or questions on policy 415?
And we're also posting these publicly. So,
Correct.
So prior to the agenda, if people want to see them and read them.
Yep, so they're posted in the agenda, linked there for public as well.
Right.
I
Yep.
can pull it up, it's very tiny.
Hmm?
I can pull it up, but it's
Oh.
very tiny.
It is very tiny.
And this is, the language is all recommended from Press Plus?
Yes, these are all Press Plus recommendations. Policy 480 is on accounting and audits. It changes the capitalization threshold from $5,000 to $10,000, and that is based on an update in federal code. And then it also adds language that establish procedures for the disposition and, when permitted by terms and conditions of the award, the retention of property that is received under federal and state law. We really don't have a lot of property that we get under federal and state grants or federal and state law. But this is also an update in response to new federal regulation.
Which one is this? I'm sorry.
This is 480,
Oh,
accounting
okay.
and audits.
Okay. There's a 6235 in between those two, and
That's coming up.
okay,
Yep.
thank you.
Any questions on 480? All right. The last one for this meeting is policy 6235, access to electronic networks. And this is a pretty involved policy already for the district, but it's adding an entire section, again, from Press Plus. This is an optional section around the use of artificial intelligence and AI-enabled tools. And as part of this policy draft, the press has recommended that the district develop a district-wide AI plan that addresses our approach to the integration of AI. Based on that plan, establish responsible use guidelines and address that responsible use in the district with all students and staff. Ensure that all of our AI-enabled tools comply with state and federal law. Ensure that staff receive training and students receive instruction on the use of AI as appropriate, and review the district's AI plan and response use guidelines on an annual basis and update them as needed. Typically, when we have those responsible use kind of guidelines, we can put them in the handbook. And that's kind of just a good placeholder for the district to always have to review it, because we have to review and make sure our handbook's compliant every year. So that's a place that could go. What's interesting about this is I don't think anybody has a grasp as to what AI is going to look like in 6 months.
Yes.
And we're already seeing embedded in lots of different ways and lots of different programs as add-ons. And if you use Microsoft or Google, they all have AI and tools that are now embedded in them. So it's coming fast and furious.
Okay.
So we'll need a motion and a
Motion for that. Okay. May I have a motion to approve the first reading of the policies presented?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, moving on. Okay. Approval of action item 8.5, Dr. Shelton.
Thank you. It's recommended the Board of Education approve the disposal of verbatim recordings from the Board of Education's closed session meetings held from August 28th, 2023 through October 23rd, 2023.
Okay. Motion for this one. Okay. May I have a motion to approve action item 8.5 as presented?
Move for approval?
Second.
Okay. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Nay? Okay. That was not me saying nay. That was just me saying nay. Okay. 8.6, action item 8.6, Dr. Sheldon.
Thank you. It's recommended that the Board of Education approve a resolution pertaining to the board's review of executive session minutes from the period of October 28th, 2024 through March 10th, 2025.
Any discussion? Okay. May I have a motion to approve the executive session minutes?
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Motion carries. 8.7, Mr. Courtney.
Thank you. It's recommended the Board of Education approve the school bus security cameras and system replacement bid to Angel Tracks. in the amount of $193,712.56.
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
This is an expense that we do yearly?
No, Matt, this has probably been 7 years that we've, 6 or 7 years since we replaced the cameras on the school buses.
And the cameras have always been the district's responsibility, not personal?
They are the district's responsibility because when we did it the first couple times, it was more financially efficient for us to be the one to purchase the cameras and own them instead of for a student. So that's what we've continued. This is a complete installation, and I budgeted $300,000 for it in the transportation fund. So,
Thank you.
yeah, you're welcome.
Any other discussion? Okay, Carrie, please call the roll.
Bertles,
Yes.
Sanderson,
Yes.
Bryant,
Yes.
Carver,
Yes.
Bauer,
Yes.
Patey.
Yes. Okay, action item 8.8, Dr. Shelton.
Thank you. It's recommended the Board of Education approve personnel matters related to the resignations and retirements of employees as presented earlier.
May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Carrie, please call the roll.
Carver,
Yes.
Bauer,
Yes.
Bertles,
Yes.
Sanderson,
Yes.
Bryant,
Yes.
Patey.
Yes. 8.9, approval of employment. 8.9, Dr. Shelton.
Thank you. It's recommended that the Board of Education approve personnel matters related to the appointment, employment, compensation, or transfer of employees, pending required certifications and professional educator license, completion of paperwork, and all background fingerprint checks completed as cleared, as presented earlier.
May I have a motion?
So moved. Second?
Any discussion? Carrie, please call the roll.
Carver,
Yes.
Bertles,
Yes.
Sanderson,
Yes.
Bryant,
Yes.
Bauer,
Yes.
Patey.
Yes. Okay. Action item 8.10, Dave Courtney.
Thank you. It's recommended the Board of Education approve the display of a proposed amended budget for the 24-25 school year. And I have included both the form and the budget adjustments that are being proposed.
Move to approve.
Second. Oh. Give it to her.
Second. Sorry.
Okay, any discussion? You want to talk a little bit about the amended budget process?
Yeah, so the budget adjustments that are being proposed to the amended budget are federal and state grant adjustments and changes in allocations that have happened during the year. If you look at the bottom line, there is a very little change between the original budget that was adopted and what the ending balances of the proposed amended budget are. A lot of these are just grant allocation changes during the year. And it's really for ease of reporting to the state and ease of reporting to the feds that we propose this amended budget. As we've had conversations, I'm not a fan of just amending the budget because revenue or expenses end up coming one higher or lower. These are grant related, and it just ease of purpose for ease of reporting, so that when we report to the state, because these amendments have all been approved by the state or they've all been approved by the feds, it's just easier to report with these amendments being posted. So,
Any other discussion? Okay. Carrie, please call the roll.
Sanderson,
Yes.
Bertles,
Yes.
Bryant,
Yes.
Carver,
Yes.
Bauer,
Yes.
Patey.
Yes. Okay. We got through everything there. Okay, Do any board members have anything they'd like to share at this time? Okay. And continuing with the new things on agendas, the next item is 10.1, which are agenda topics. We're always going to try to sort of give you a flavor of what's to come as far as board topics we're discussing at the next meeting. The next meeting will be our June retreat. And so these are some of the topics we plan on discussing then. Some may come off, some depending on, things, or we may add, if there are issues that come up between now and then that we deem need to be addressed. But this is just to kind of give everybody sort of a view into what we're looking at. So, any other questions or comments? Anybody like to add anything at this time, or? Okay, cool. Okay, with no further business, may I have a motion to adjourn?
Move to approve.
Second.
May I have a second? Okay, all in favor signify